Have you ever sat down with a warm cup of coffee and thought, this is the best part of my morning? If you have, you're not alone. For millions of people, coffee isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a source of comfort, and for some, a necessity to start the day. But what if I told you that your morning cup of coffee might be doing more than just waking you up? What if science is now saying that coffee could actually help you live longer? It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? We've heard so many mixed things about coffee over the years. Some say it's bad for your heart, others say it can spike your blood pressure. Some claim it dehydrates you, while others insist it's packed with health benefits. But today we're cutting through the noise and diving into what the latest research says, especially for those of us over 60. Now, let's be honest, by the time we reach our golden years, we've all become a little more aware of what we put into our bodies. We start paying more attention to labels, cutting back on sugar, and trying to make choices that keep us feeling strong and energized. And if there's one thing we all want, it's more time. More time to enjoy with our loved ones, more time to do the things we love, more time to wake up and savor that cup of coffee. So, the question is, can coffee actually help us live longer? The answer might surprise you. Researchers have been studying coffee's impact on health for decades, and what they're finding now is fascinating. One of the most eye-opening studies, published in major health journals, followed hundreds of thousands of older adults over several years. The results? Those who drank coffee regularly had a lower risk of dying from some of the most common causes of death, including heart disease, stroke, and even neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. But why? What is it about coffee that could make such a difference in longevity? For starters, coffee is loaded with powerful antioxidants. These are the same compounds found in things like berries, dark chocolate, and green tea, foods that experts constantly tell us to eat more of. Antioxidants help fight off harmful molecules in the body called free radicals. And free radicals? Well, they're one of the biggest culprits behind aging and disease. They damage our cells, speed up the aging process, and contribute to conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. And here's where coffee gets interesting. Many people assume coffee is just caffeine, but it's so much more than that. Inside each cup, there are hundreds of bioactive compounds, natural chemicals that interact with our bodies in ways that scientists are still discovering. Some of these compounds help reduce inflammation, which is a huge factor in nearly every age-related disease. Others support brain health, keeping our minds sharper for longer. But let's talk about something that might be on your mind right now. If coffee is so great, why do some people say it's bad for your heart? It's true, coffee can temporarily raise blood pressure, and for some, it can cause jitters or an irregular heartbeat. But recent research has shown that in most healthy adults, moderate coffee consumption doesn't actually increase the risk of heart disease. In fact, it may even protect against it. Studies have found that people who drink coffee regularly tend to have lower levels of certain risk factors, like inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which are closely linked to heart disease. Of course, this doesn't mean that drinking 5 or 6 cups a day is the answer. Like everything in life, balance is key. Now, you might be wondering, what about decaf? Does it have the same benefits? That's a great question, and the answer is yes, at least when it comes to many of the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. Decaf still contains many of the beneficial compounds found in regular coffee, just without the caffeine. So, whether you prefer your coffee strong and black or a milder, decaffeinated version, there's good news. Both can play a role in a healthier, longer life. But there's more to this story. Coffee's effects on the body go far beyond just heart health and longevity. There's another area where coffee might be doing something incredible, especially for seniors. It has to do with one of the biggest concerns we all have as we age, keeping our brains sharp and protecting our memory. We all want to stay sharp as we age. No one wants to walk into a room and forget why they went in there. No one wants to struggle to recall names or feel like their memory is slipping away. And let's be honest, one of the biggest fears we have as we get older is the thought of developing conditions like Alzheimer's or dementia. But what if your morning cup of coffee was doing more than just waking you up? What if it was actually helping to protect your brain? This is where things get really interesting. Research suggests that coffee doesn't just boost your focus in the moment, it could actually lower your risk of cognitive decline in the long run. Scientists have been studying this for years, and what they're finding is remarkable. It turns out that coffee drinkers, especially those who have been enjoying their daily cup for decades, tend to have better brain health than those who don't drink coffee at all. One of the key reasons is something called adenosine. Now, don't worry, I won't get too scientific here. But in simple terms, adenosine is a chemical in the brain that makes us feel sleepy and slows down brain activity. Caffeine blocks adenosine, which is why coffee helps you feel more awake. But beyond that short-term boost, Blocking adenosine also seems to protect brain cells from damage over time. And that's not all. Coffee also appears to help the brain in other powerful ways. Studies show that regular coffee drinkers tend to have a lower buildup of abnormal proteins in the brain, proteins that are linked to Alzheimer's disease. In fact, some researchers believe that coffee's combination of caffeine and antioxidants creates a sort of shield around brain cells, protecting them from the damage that leads to memory loss and cognitive decline. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds great, but I've also heard that too much coffee can make people jittery or anxious. And that's true, especially if you're sensitive to caffeine. Some people can drink coffee late at night and sleep just fine, while others can barely handle 1 cup without feeling wired. So what's the right amount? Most studies suggest that moderate coffee consumption, around 2 to 4 cups a day, is where you'll get the most benefits without negative side effects. Of course, everyone is different, and it's always important to listen to your body. If you find that coffee makes you feel too jittery, switching to a lighter roast, cutting back on caffeine in the afternoon, or trying half-caffeinated coffee can help. But here's something you might not know. How you drink your coffee can make a big difference too. Think about it. Black coffee without sugar or cream is one of the healthiest drinks you can have. It's virtually calorie-free, packed with antioxidants, and full of compounds that benefit your body. But when we start adding spoonfuls of sugar-flavored creamers or whipped cream, we're turning it into a dessert rather than a health drink. And that's where some of the concerns about coffee and health come in. Too much sugar in your coffee can lead to weight gain, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, all of which can contribute to a shorter lifespan. The good news is, if you enjoy a little sweetness in your coffee, there are healthier ways to do it. Natural sweeteners like cinnamon, stevia, or a splash of unsweetened almond milk can add flavor without the extra sugar. And if you're someone who loves coffee but struggles with acid reflux or an upset stomach afterward, switching to a darker roast or cold brew can help. Darker roasts tend to have lower acidity, and cold brew is naturally less acidic than hot coffee, making it easier on the stomach. But coffee's benefits don't stop at brain health. There's another surprising way coffee might be helping you live longer, and it has to do with something that affects almost everyone as they age: muscle loss. Muscle loss is one of those sneaky things that happens as we get older. You might notice that climbing the stairs feels a little harder, or that carrying groceries isn't quite as easy as it used to be. That's because after the age of 30, we start losing muscle mass little by little every year. By the time we reach our 60s and 70s, this loss can become noticeable, sometimes even dangerous. But what if I told you that coffee could actually help slow down muscle loss? It sounds almost too good to be true, but research shows that caffeine can have a direct impact on muscle strength and endurance. In fact, some studies suggest that older adults who consume coffee regularly have better muscle function than those who don't. One of the reasons for this is that caffeine acts as a natural stimulant, helping muscles contract more efficiently. This is why many athletes drink coffee before a workout. It gives them an edge in performance. But for older adults, the benefits go beyond just an energy boost. Caffeine helps prevent age-related muscle decline by improving circulation, reducing inflammation, and even encouraging the body to use stored fat for energy instead of breaking down muscle tissue. And here's something really interesting. Coffee is one of the richest sources of polyphenol, powerful plant compounds that have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Chronic inflammation is a major factor in muscle weakness and joint pain as we age, but coffee's polyphenol can help counteract this. Some experts believe that drinking coffee regularly could actually reduce the risk of frailty, which is a major concern for many seniors. Of course, drinking coffee alone isn't a magic solution. Staying active, eating enough protein, and getting the right nutrients are all crucial for maintaining strength as we age. But having a cup or two of coffee as part of your routine could give you that extra advantage, keeping you moving, feeling stronger, and staying independent for longer. Now, while coffee seems to have all these incredible benefits, there's one area where it often gets a bad reputation: its effect on the heart. You've probably heard people say, "Be careful with coffee, it can raise your blood pressure," or "Too much caffeine is bad for your heart." And that's enough to make anyone a little nervous about drinking too much. But the truth is a little more complicated than that. Yes, coffee can cause a temporary increase in blood pressure, especially in people who don't drink it often. But for regular coffee drinkers, this effect is usually small and doesn't seem to increase the risk of heart disease. In fact, studies show that people who drink coffee in moderation, about 2 to 4 cups a day, tend to have a lower risk of heart disease, stroke, and even heart failure compared to those who don't drink coffee at all. One of the reasons for this is that coffee is rich in antioxidants, which help reduce inflammation and protect blood vessels. It also seems to improve insulin sensitivity, which lowers the risk of developing diabetes, a major risk factor for heart disease. But, and this is important, how you drink your coffee matters. If you love adding cream and sugar, it's important to keep an eye on how much you're using. Too much sugar and unhealthy fats can counteract the benefits of coffee and increase your risk of heart problems. The best way to enjoy coffee for heart health is either black or with a small amount of milk or a natural sweetener. And if you're someone who struggles with high blood pressure or heart issues, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor about how much coffee is right for you. Everyone's body responds differently, and while coffee can be a great addition to a healthy lifestyle, it's important to make sure it works for you. So far, we've talked about how coffee can help protect your brain, keep your muscles strong, and even support heart health. But there's one more surprising benefit of coffee that we haven't covered yet: its potential to help with longevity itself. Longevity is something we all think about as we get older. How can we not? We want to be around for as long as possible, enjoying life, spending time with the people we love, and staying as independent as we can. And when it comes to longevity, coffee may have more to offer than we ever imagined. You see, scientists have been looking at the connection between coffee and lifespan for years, and the results are pretty incredible. Large studies involving hundreds of thousands of people have found that those who drink coffee regularly tend to live longer than those who don't. And it's not just a small difference, we're talking about a significantly lower risk of dying from major causes like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and even some cancers. So, what is it about coffee that seems to give people this extra edge in living longer? One of the biggest reasons is its powerful ability to fight inflammation. Chronic inflammation is one of the hidden culprits behind so many age-related diseases. It damages blood vessels, weakens the immune system, and contributes to conditions like Alzheimer's, arthritis, and even cancer. But coffee is loaded with antioxidants and polyphenol that help combat this process, keeping your body in better shape as the years go by. Another key factor is how coffee affects metabolism. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down, making it easier to gain weight and harder to maintain energy levels. Coffee helps counteract this by boosting metabolism and improving how the body processes sugars and fats. That's why coffee drinkers tend to have a lower risk of type 2 diabetes, a condition that can take years off your life if left unmanaged. And then there's something truly fascinating: coffee's potential link to DNA protection. Scientists have discovered that people who drink coffee regularly tend to have longer telomeres. Now, telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of our DNA strands, and they naturally shorten as we age. When they get too short, cells stop functioning properly, leading to aging and disease. Some studies suggest that the antioxidants in coffee may help slow this process down, essentially keeping our cells younger for longer. Now, before you rush to make another cup, there is one important thing to remember. Moderation is key. More coffee doesn't necessarily mean better health. Most research suggests that the sweet spot is around 2 to 4 cups per day. Drinking too much, especially in the late afternoon or evening, can interfere with sleep, which is crucial for longevity as well. Poor sleep can undo many of the benefits of coffee by increasing stress hormones, weakening the immune system, and accelerating aging. And of course, the way you drink your coffee matters too. If your daily coffee routine includes sugary syrups, artificial creamers, or a mountain of whipped cream, you could be canceling out some of those benefits. A simple cup of black coffee or one with a splash of milk is the best way to get all the good stuff without the unnecessary extras. So what does all this mean? Should you start drinking more coffee just to live longer? Not necessarily. But if you already enjoy coffee, it's good to know that your daily cup, or two, might be doing more for you than just waking you up. It's supporting your brain, your muscles, your heart, and your overall longevity. The best part? Coffee isn't just about health. It's also about pleasure, routine, and connection. For many of us, it's a comforting ritual: the quiet moment in the morning, the warm cup in our hands, the conversations shared over coffee with friends and family. And those moments, just as much as the health benefits, are what make life worth living. So here's to coffee, one of life's simplest yet most powerful pleasures. Drink it, enjoy it, and let it be part of your journey to a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life.